I think Eddie Hall nailed it on the head when he said it's the most alpha lift you can do, because it is. Pressing's great, squatting's great, but there's nothing better than pulling that weight off the floor. Everyone wants a massive deadlift tonight.
The Welsh bull himself setting a Welsh record.
And it's one of them lifts that sort of take over everything. It is definitely a true test of all over body strength. Because it's such a serious lift, things can go wrong in a blink of an eye. And my first big deadlift would have been in a different gym when I was still in the army at this point, and I think it would have been my first 300. Yeah, I know that is a huge lift and you don't see it often in a gym, but that was my first big lift. I got super pumped up all day. I was thinking about it. It was almost like that point. It was like, I'm actually quite good at this sport. Just beginning of it, I could see it, envision what I wanted. And after that deadlift, that first 300, I thought, yeah, I'm going to fully commit to it. And I think it was actually the same year I retired from rugby, and I called it a day with the army. Yeah, things have moved on a bit from now. The Cardiff deadlift show last year was amazing, and I worked really hard the previous year. It was a last minute call-up.
Here we go, waste no time.
We're looking for that moment of control, the blocking out, and he did it. Well, that is a Welsh record for Gavin Bilton, 425 kilos.
Breaking my own record and setting in front of a home crowd, it was amazing. It meant a lot to me.
This will be a Welsh record if he manages it.
By just half a kilo, but it will be quite something where to put it. Come on, Gav.
That's how you do it. The Welsh bull himself in Wales, setting a Welsh record.
And the bull has roared.
If I want to say it, I'll say it. Yeah, I have the strongest back in Wales, and that's quite a cool thing. I can't say I got the strongest back in the world. I'm nowhere near that level yet. But having the strongest and biggest deadlift ever to be pulled in Wales out of any sport with powerlifting and becoming, in the strongman level, that means a lot. It's quite a big thing to have. It's quite a statement to hold. But yeah, I'll say it. I do. And obviously the goals have changed again this year, and the numbers are going to increase, and I think that will put it out of sight for a long time. So my goals for this year, 2023, at the Cardiff Deadlift Show, is to join that world famous club, the £1,000 Club. That's the paparazzi, that is, mate. They're always after photos. Last year I trained hard for it, it just didn't happen, but I'm a big believer that it will happen at the right time. You always train for that occasion and you think it's always going to be then, but I have a belief that they literally will happen when they're supposed to happen. It was never meant to happen last year. It's going to happen this year. That's how I'm training, that's how I approach it. I know I've got it in me, I know I can do it. It's just gone past the point of belief. I train hard enough and I'm a lot smarter than I was last year. When I was sort of doing things I should have been doing, like in training, sort of dodging sessions and going for the heavy numbers instead, and that doesn't help at all. It's not as easy as it thinks, because I think my first year, 4 or 5 people pulled it and just made it as if it could just happen at the top of a hat.
He gets it, Danny.
Well, that is incredible. Nethercoat joins the 1,000 Club.
Oh!
Goodness me. Well, he's done it.
He forgot he was strapped to the bar. Surely not.
Just a little further.
What is in the air tonight? 453 and a half's a magical number.
Well, why not?
Here we go.
Easy for Adam Bishop. Look at that. From Pablo.
So the following year, everyone's like, oh, so many people are going to pull this deadlift, and I think only 2 or 3 pulled it that night, because it just gets lost in translation. When the opener is 400 kilos and the next jump is 25 on top of that, then it's to £1,000, there's nothing in between.
Squat down and fire those legs. No hesitation, and listen to the arena.
The shows are never like training. You have the perfect rest, the perfect weight, you have everything go your way. And if people skip weights in front of you, then you're not going for the high weight, then you have to go. So your rest is cut short. But that's the challenge of competing, and that's when you pull them numbers. There's no doubt you pull them under different circumstances and under a little bit more pressure. So, but come Cardiff this year, that number will get absolutely smashed to bits. When you believe it and you accept it, you become it. And that's what I have. I believe I am, and I accept that I am one of the best in the world. So what do I have that I didn't have last year? It sounds quite sort of counterproductive with how I like to live my life, with being super positive and trying to see the best in everything, even a shitty outcome or a shitty situation. Is I have belief that I am now one of the strongest men on the planet. I think the performances last year, yes, I know I didn't win the Worlds and I didn't win certain shows, but I'm getting better and better every year.
Come on!
It's quite hard for me, I still do to this day. Maybe it's from getting told I was shit at rugby by so many other people when I actually wasn't. But now I'm actually good at a sport. It's quite hard for me to accept that I am good at this sport, and I think if you accept it, then you become it, and then you can become who you want to be within this sport. You look at the top guys, Tom, Mitchell Hooper, Big Z, Brian Shaw, Eddie Hawthorne, all the guys, could list go on. They all believe and they're fully committed to that they are one of the best on the planet. And sometimes I'd always say, oh, the guys at the top level, but I am sort of setting myself away from them, but I am one of the guys at the top level. I've proved it on many occasions, and the way I train. I'm kept very humble in this gym as well, which I think you need, but acceptance that you are one of the best helps you become a better athlete, and that's what I have that I didn't have last year. I believe I'm one of the strongest on this planet, or I know I'm one of the strongest on this planet now. You train for a marathon to run a sprint, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? You just train and you're sprinting like 200-300 meters if you want to smash 100 meters. So what you need the condition of the body to be able to pull these huge numbers. And you think that sounds almost silly, but if you know the sport and understand it, then lifting singles all the time, heavy singles, does not get you strong. It's the repetition. So this is what me and my coach have come up with. Dale, he is incredibly smart and proficient in the way he goes around things. Is the light the weights? I say light, is still heavy, but is the repetition to overload them muscles and overload the system into just lifting that one big pull. So my plan for that show, yes, it is an incredibly taxing event. The first event, max deadlift. Usually that would be the session over in a gym. You'd come in, you pull a heavy deadlift, and then that'd be it. A couple of bit of accessories, and you're good to go, and it's you going home. But it comes to one of these professional shows, and it's 5 events. So my plan is to pull 1,000 pounds. If I go more, I'll go more, but I'm going to pull 1,000 pounds and focus on the rest of the show, and I'm going to win. I mean, I came 5th last year, which is great in front of a home crowd. I know I got the goods to win. I just need, sometimes with the game of rugby, you need like the rub of the green, as they say. You need things just to go your way. You need training to be perfect. You need no injuries leading into it. So my plan is to pull 1,000 pounds and then win in front of my home crowd. So can anyone pull the 505? You can never say no, because Eddie was doubted when he said about the 500, and he absolutely smashed it. So you can never say no.
And away we go! Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Hall lifts the half ton, 500 kilograms is off the floor. 500 kilograms has been done. 500 kilograms is no longer a myth. 500 kilograms was crushed in Leeds.
Only 2 people in history have ever pulled them sort of numbers. If I'm going to name a few, I would say Pablo, Bishop, Hicksy, and Macroft. They would be my 4. They'd be my pick. Yes, there's other athletes out there, but Bishop is so proficient. Hicksy has just got this brute strength Macroft is the same, just insanely strong. And then wide pav is he's formerly known, because there's 2 Pavlos, there's one wide and one not so wide. Like I said, untold strength with him at the moment. In the nicest way possible, he's a freak. People like that, or athletes like that, are 1 in a million. They come around, you do not see him very often. Yes, there's other strong athletes, but yeah, I'm involved in this sport and I don't understand how someone can be that strong and make things look so easy. Unlucky with a few injuries, so if he has a clean run into this show at the end of this year, he's definitely a candidate to do it. He pulled 1,000 pounds, made it look ridiculously easy. He actually laughed at the top of the lift, which was quite worrying to see. And then I think he actually won the whole show. So yeah, what an athlete. Oh, I do apologise, that totally slipped my mind. His, Jamal Browner, his numbers on social media are insane. I think he's done 500 plus sumo. Got a lot of stick for it, but I think got a lot of stick from people who don't know what they're talking about, because you have to appreciate what that man actually moved. It will be conventional, which is going to change things up for him, but he's a professional athlete and he will change what he has to do. I appreciate the weight getting shifted. Yes, they do use them. I think kabuki bars. Are you just taking the slack out the bar? Maybe. I'm giving you shit. I'm not really. Don't pull sumo. Conventional's the only way forward. Don't know what I was on about. I think he was going to be an absolute menace at that show. And he doesn't weigh much, and everything he does is raw. I mean, yeah. If God forbid, don't wish the man injury, but if that man does not get injured, he is a contender for it. If you want to see me put £1,000, make sure you join us on the 2nd of September in Cardiff at the Strongman Open, featuring the Deadlift World Championships.